are Rod Talley and Darius Polk, and David Williams is like number 4. He didn't say it that way. The way he was, it's me, and then it's Darius and Rod, and then he said, and David's in there sometimes too. So kind of gave the impression that David Williams is running number 4.
So was there a literal doghouse out there that David Williams was inside?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know we stood out there in the rain for about 15 minutes watching them stretch, and then the rains ended and they went into their activities, into their various groups. And there was no doubt. Now, I can't sit here and compare to the past that I just know that they were getting after it. Oklahoma drill, goal line drill, lining up and just running a pro straight ahead, being, trying to be physical, which, I'm not going to sit here and say, gee, that's unusual for a college football team. No, I'm sure everybody's doing that. But the talk around South Carolina has been so much about physicality, and they were certainly showing that off today.
Was McElwain and Orth in Oklahoma drill?
No, they were not.
Okay,
no.
That's good.
Now, Orth pointed out that it was his day to run with the ones. He and McElwain have been alternating. Yesterday, McElwain was with the ones. Today, Orth was with the ones. So nothing's been decided there yet.
Well, the interesting thing is that I'm probably getting ready to put Deebo Samuel in the honorary Sammy Watkins Maserati deal, in that car runs smooth when it runs, but high maintenance with those hamstrings.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. You know what, folks? You know what? Normally, we'd be taking a commercial break right now.
Don't point it out.
But not anymore. We told you we're changing the format here on the program, and no instant commercials for you here at the outset of the show. We have reworked our commercial breaks to the benefit of the show and the host and the listener. I think you're all going to enjoy it much more, that our segments are longer and our breaks, in terms of the number of breaks, are fewer. So I think it will lead to better flow and better communications between you and us. So it's us. We're still here. We got something to talk about. There's no commercial break here. Not that we don't like commercial breaks. We love commercial breaks. We love our sponsors. We support our sponsors. We hope you do the same thing. We're just going to iron things out here to make it smoother and give us longer segments to talk and share our opinions and hear from you. So 800-956, I've been waiting for 7 years, I think, to talk past 10 after 6.
My point was, I thought that was going to be a surprise. We were just going to go on with the show and let the listeners figure out what we were doing. Okay.
800-956-7266 is our number. Email talkback@sportstalksc.com and on Twitter @SportsTalkSC. Now, if you're listening around the state, 32 affiliates, and hopefully everybody is on board with the format change. Some who have not reset their computers, there could be some strange interruptions taking place from time to time until that gets figured out. Hopefully everybody is on board with us tonight and everything will go smoothly. 800-956-7266. Email talkback@sportstalksc.com, on Twitter @SportsTalkSC. Couple of injury notes from eyeballing over at USC. Rico Dowdle was on crutches today, the freshman running back. Saw him on crutches. Deebo Samuel remained in yellow and not involved in practice. Davis, Randrigus Davis was also in yellow, not participating in practice today, doing conditioning stuff. Let's see who else. Chaz Elder was also in yellow today. The guys who aren't participating in practice, they are down in a corner of the practice area and just doing conditioning stuff. Those are some of the ones I saw from that standpoint. Over at Clemson today, one position move of note, and that is Gage Cervinka has been moved from the defensive line to the offensive line. He is a redshirt freshman from Emerald High. He met with Sweeney on Sunday afternoon, and he made that suggestion to the coach to move him over, which might not be a bad move for him. He's a strong kid. He was a heavyweight champion wrestler, four-time champion in wrestling in South Carolina, a record of 199-1 as a wrestler.
I want to meet the guy that beat
You know who the one was?
Who?
Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan beat him. That's a joke.
No.
Oh, no, I thought Hulk Hogan told him.
Can I get a giggle?
No, I was
mean, it
going to
wasn't
say that
very funny,
I
Corn.
thought Hulk Hogan only beat him.
K-Mac's used to being in commercial break right now. He hasn't come back.
Okay.
Really, I mean, I wish that was during a commercial break, actually.
No,
for your sake.
I was going to joke that Hulk Hogan only beat him because he threatened to sue him if he didn't beat him.
So that's the news out of Clemson from a position standpoint. Let's see. That's actually the second position change of the fall. Shadell Bell went from receiver to a tight end
Does
earlier.
he think he's going to get on the field quicker by moving over?
I don't know how. I mean, they're so deep at tight end, unless he's just superior to the other tight ends. But one place Clemson is extremely deep is tight end, especially with the senior potential All-American in Jordan Leggett. Snaps will be hard to come by, I would think, unless, again, you're just a better player. Sweeney mentioned among the youngsters standing out, Dexter Lawrence has looked very good. Amir Trapp, he said, has looked very good. And he said Ray McLeod is much improved and ready to take that to next step. So the Tigers are going to work out lightly tonight. Another full pads practice tomorrow afternoon, a situational scrimmage on Wednesday, a mental practice on Thursday. Now, what do you think goes on there during a mental practice?
I think there's a lot of blackboard work, maybe.
I don't know.
Or shift the defense into different changes and say what you're going to do here now. You call a play, make the defense shift into the play you call and see if they can audible.
Yeah. Yes. Somebody said yoga. Is that what Jar Marcher suggesting they do yoga?
Meditation, mindfulness. That's a mental practice, right?
Yeah, I could see that. All right, so coming up, we're going to hear from Dabo in just a little bit. Also from Perry Orth and A.J. Turner from USC. And our lines are open if you want to join us, 800-956-7266. Some comments from Panthers coach Ron Rivera coming up tonight, and a preview of the Georgia Bulldogs coming your way this evening.
You know whose team that is?
No, he's not one of those, is he?
He is.
I don't know who did that one.
I think he has a bulldog tattoo on his back somewhere.
That's embarrassing.
Is that true?
That's highly embarrassing.
I might have a few.
Also, we can tell all the grounds crew at stadiums all over the country to make sure that they have the proper paint to paint their respective fields with.
He knows where Uga's buried, all the Ugas at Sanford Stadium.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk. We are back, Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network, and of course the Olympics ongoing. I haven't really kept up with stuff today. I am watching out of the corner of my eye the USA men's basketball team playing Venezuela in the first quarter. It's like all even. This is like really close, which is,
Are they playing this game in a brothel or no?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think they're in the arena.
Oh, that's good. The team made it. That was the big
Team
USA controversy over the weekend.
having a little bit of a – now the women played today too, and they won by like 50 points again. It's not even fair.
It's not that exciting watching the Americans just dominate in basketball. I mean, you'd like there to be somebody that could push them just for the –
You mean
the
for
sport of it.
the men or the women?
Both.
But right now they're getting there.
Historically, the team that
It's 14-13 Venezuela with 45 seconds to play in the quarter.
You think it's
he's going to go off.
You think it's Spain,
I
but
guess he's
they
off.
don't have Marc Gasol this year. Spain is without Marc Gasol. That gave the Americans headaches. And Venezuela's had their share of NBA players on their team. I'm not sure this year.
All right, 800-956-7266. If you want to join in on the program, email talkback@sportstalksc.com and on Twitter @SportsTalkSC. Our poll question of the week, already getting a lot of hits, is how will USC fare in September? Win them all, 3 out of 4, split, 1 of 4, lose them all. Obviously, they're playing 4 games in the month of September. Thus far, 33.5% say 3 out of 4 ain't bad. 28% a split is acceptable. 17.5% say gonna win them all. 11.6% 1 out of 4. That's concerning. And then 8.7% say they will lose them all in September. I think if they can go 3 out of 4, they'd have to be very, very happy with the start.
Dance a jig.
Yeah, if they can get to that point. A couple of quick notes, and then we're going to hear from Dabo Sweeney here on Sports Talk. Stephen Davis Jr. out of Dutch Fork, who ended up going to Auburn, is going to sit out the season. Apparently, according to Gus Malzahn, not healed enough, the knee that he injured early last year, his senior year at Dutch Fork. And so he is not going to participate this season. Of course, he tore the ACL, MCL, and he's been a little bit slow coming back from that. So he's going to spend the season rehabbing that knee. The USC men's basketball team, 73-53 over Costa Rica's national team yesterday afternoon. In Costa Rica, Mackey had 17. Dwayne Notice had 16. They'll play the second and final game of this tour. It's only a 2-game event for them. They'll play that second game later on tonight. Congratulations to Clemson golfer Carson Young, who wins the 85th South Carolina Amateur at Debadeau over the weekend. Second time he's won the amateur, so congratulations to him. He beat Andrew Novak of Mount Pleasant by 3 shots. Todd White and Bryson third, 10 shots off the lead. And also congratulations to Wesley Bryan, son of our good friend George. He won on the web.com tour yesterday, his 3rd win of the season. That gets him an automatic promotion to the PGA Tour for the rest of this season and all of last year. What a great story. Those kids, the George's sons who followed in his footsteps as a professional golfer, and George as a golf instructor, and his sons have just done a marvelous job of following his lead. And congratulations to Wesley on getting his shot at the PGA Tour. Maybe he'll shoot a 58, maybe even a 57. Jim Furyk yesterday.
Who missed it by 1 stroke? Oh, that was Lefty that did it. Wasn't it Lefty or somebody that almost had the 58 and missed it by 1 or 2 strokes?
Has Lefty ever shot a 59?
No.
I don't think
not.
there's only 6 people.
Right, he's not in the 50 category.
Yeah.
Except for his
It
age.
might have been Furyk again in another tournament at almost.
Yeah, he did shoot 59. He has shot 59 and 58.
It's crazy that, and that's pretty incredible. I mean, you think about all the guys that have played, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. Nicholas has never shot a 59, but then Chip Beck has. I mean, you never know how it's going.
He
to
was
turn out.
like the
only one. Like that was his
wasn't
thing.
he the original 59?
Yeah, he was like the big dog.
Mm-hmm.
But all the courses that they play, and you think that it would happen more, but it doesn't.
All right, today Clemson worked out. They're going to do it again this evening. Worked out earlier today, and Dabo Swinney met with the media to update the Tigers in camp thus far.
Tough day this morning. Gonna come back tonight, and we got a lot of, we got some good time allotted for tonight on the field in the stadium to kind of clean some things up and reteach a few things, slow it down. Tough practice today, really physical. We've got a good installation plan in place as far as how we script all of our situations, and just things that we got to expose the team to, so we can see where we need a little more water in some places than others. Not doing a good job in coming out defense today. Off the one, really disappointed in what I saw today defensively. But guys are working hard, trying to do a good job of creating the type of competition that we need. We got big week. It's going to be a tough couple days, and until we get to Thursday, we'll kind of back off a little bit physically on Thursday, and then ramp it back up Friday and Saturday. But today and tomorrow and Wednesday, we got a lot of work to get done. Going to have a situational scrimmage on Wednesday, so we still got some installation we got to get in. Some of our 2-minute stuff, last plays. We've got good work in green zone, red zone, short yardage. Got some of that live. Got to get to our goal line package tomorrow. So it's a lot of work to get done, but again, like guys, as far as just the fact that they'll work and they'll compete. We're a long way away from a top 5 football team right now. These guys are, I think we're a top 5 program, but we're not a top 5 team. Not right now. We got a lot of work to do, and but that's why you have camp. That's why we coach and spend as much time as we do meeting and correcting, and the guys that it's important enough to will get better. But one thing I do like about the team, and I've said it many times, is we're going to have more competition than we had last year, especially on defense. And I think that bodes well for us when it all works itself out.
When you say you're disappointed with the defense, what specifically was it? Mental focus, or was it?
Just not doing our job. I mean, third, you're on the 1-yard line, and Gallman goes 99 yards on the first play. That's great for the offense. But we just that's all it takes is one play. We've got to clean up some things. We can't be feast or famine. And it all goes back to just doing your job, having your eyes on the right thing. Certainly tackling is a part of it, but that was disappointing today. They came back the second rack and did a good job, but we may not get another rack. And we got to be ready right out of the gate. We're playing a really tough opponent right out of the gate, and we got to get better and clean it up, and then we got to create the competition that'll drive those guys to pay a little more attention to details.
Does your plan change during 2-a-days if you have sort of a disappointing practice in the morning? Do you change the plan for the second practice of the day, or do you just continue on with sort of the process?
We've got a plan in place, right? Just meetings might not be as pleasant, when we get in there this afternoon. But we've got a plan. We got to learn from your bad and the good. We've been doing it long enough. Unfortunately, when you're the head coach, it's really never a perfect day. We just went 99 yards. That's awesome coming out offense, but that was our defense.
Dabo Swinney from earlier today up at Clemson. All of Dabo and player comments on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. You can check it out there. Coming up, we're going to hear from the Gamecocks, Perry Orth, A.J. Turner, much more here on this Monday edition of Sports Talk. We'll be right back. We are back. Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network. The Americans are leading the Venezuelans 26-22, 6:05 to go in the second quarter. A little bit more of a tussle. They're actually having to perspire. Coach K has actually gotten up and snarled at some people.
Well, you know, they got a big center. Looked like he's 300 pounds in the middle of Venezuela. Enrique,
get out of my
big
way.
Number 7 out there at the top of the key.
Why aren't they using the trapezoid? Don't they? I thought they used the trapezoid lane in
international play. I think it is no longer in play for whatever reason. 800-956-7266. Welcome into Sports Talk. If you're just joining us, hope you've had a marvelous Monday. I know that's hard to do, Monday being Monday, but make the best out of it. Thank you for being with us. If you're in traffic, driving slowly, be patient. You'll get where you're going. When you get there, make sure you take us with you. Don't leave us locked in your car. It's a no-no. Take us with you. Whatever device that you happen to have at your fingertips. Do not miss a moment of Sports Talk, because a moment missed is a moment lost. And we got more Dabo Sweeney coming up for you in hour number 2. Ron Rivera of the Panthers. We'll hear from him in the second hour. A preview of the Georgia Bulldogs coming up. We've got recruiting coming up for you, and some stuff from the Gamecocks as well. 800-956-7266 is how you can join us. Preseason FCS ranking out today. Southern, number 6 in the preseason poll.
Wow.
Finished 7th last year, number 6 to start this year. What a job Jamie Chadwell has done there at Charleston Southern, because his hands are tied in so many ways when it comes to facility, things of that nature, getting it done with what they have to work with. North Dakota State is 1, followed by Sam Houston and Jacksonville State, Richmond, and Northern Iowa. That's the top 5. Now the Citadel checking in at number 15, and Coastal Carolina is going to start the season
in purgatory. Right?
Well, this is the coaches poll.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not in the coaches poll. I guess the coaches aren't voting for them because they're in transition.
They're in the
the official. I was looking at official.
Apparently
the
not.
official FCS poll, Coastal's number 19.
16.
16. Okay. Should have stopped while I was ahead. Anyway, they're in the transition. They can't play for anything anyway. They can't play for the SCF's title. They can't play in a bowl game or anything like that this year because they're in transition. Our good buddy Teddy Hefner has an interesting little note that he put on Twitter. He's saying that USC's basketball and baseball play-by-play person, Andy Demetra, has been offered and is on the verge of taking the play-by-play job at Georgia Tech. That's also an IMG is the SC play-by-play job. So there could be an opening at South Carolina, or according to Teddy, there will be an opening at South Carolina with basketball and the baseball play-by-play jobs.
Andy's been looking for another job for a while, and that one closed. You mentioned it's still in the family, so that would be an opportunity also to do football that he's not doing in Columbia. So they would have to find, and it'll be difficult for South Carolina because a full-fledged play-by-play guy is going to want to do football. So whoever South Carolina hires, it's going to have to be somebody that's probably going to be younger.
I imagine they will promote from within.
Yeah, an IMG. It'll be an IMG guy.
No, I mean like even within the university.
Well, Brad Miller
Muller?
Yeah, he would be outstanding. I mean, he's a great guy, does an awesome job with the women's hoops, and to me, they could slide him right in there, and I don't think Gamecock fans would bat an eye.
They could split it. Of course, the guy who does the television for them a lot over there, but you couldn't be on television. Derek, you couldn't be on television and radio at the same time. So they're going to have to find somebody.
Unless you simulcast.
K-Mac, are you interested?
No, I'm not. No.
Are you interested?
No.
Jarmart, are you interested in the job?
I like where I'm at behind the glass here.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting because back in the day,
if you want me, I'm available.
In the
here's the 2-2.
Yeah, in the dinosaur.
It's on the black.
Remember now, in the dinosaur age, Bob Fulton left and went to Georgia Tech for what, 2 years, and then came back.
Came crawling back. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Best of luck to all concerned. 956-7266. The Gamecock today. It was hot. It was rainy for the first part of the practice. They allowed the media in for the first 3 periods once again, and we got rained on. Of course, nobody saw fit to come over and cover us up or anything. It was make do out there. As the football team was stretching, we were getting rained on. Then the rain quit, and they broke into their various organized chaos out there. You know, so many things to watch in a football practice. You got your linemen when the teams are split up. You know, you got your quarterbacks over here, receivers. You got your running backs doing their thing, blocky offensive linemen doing their thing, defenders doing their thing. So a lot going on out there. I will tell you that when they lined up to run short yardage inside the 10, I guess goal line inside the 10-yard line stuff, it was line up and just beat the man in front of you, just physical and blocker on a blocker, and they had some success getting the ball in the end zone. Perry Orth, once again, running with the ones today. Well, here's Perry as he explains what's been going on with the quarterback situation in camp thus far.
So today it was my turn to go with the ones and his turn to go with the twos. And so, I mean, yesterday I was with the twos and he was with the ones. So still evenly split.
You guys haven't noticed any changes or any?
Nope, not yet. I guess today was day 8 technically. So nope, nothing yet. I'm assuming they'll probably kind of give us a heads up after the scrimmage on Saturday. I'd assume so. But until then, we'll probably continue to split reps evenly.
That kind of feels like a big day for y'all and for other guys too.
Oh, absolutely. It's a big day for us. It's a big day for all the guys on offense and defense to prove themselves. To the coaching staff, a lot of the young guys are getting a chance to play with the ones and the twos now. And Saturday will be a good test for them.
Whether it be in this competition or overall, do you consider yourself an underdog?
Not necessarily. Not anymore. Maybe last season I probably did, but not now. I've been there and done that. You know, I've played games. I've played in tough environments. I've played, you know, in big-time ball games. So, no, I don't feel like an underdog now. I just feel I got to take it each and every day as serious as I can because I'm in a heated competition with a talented quarterback.
How would you say the offense is moving the football?
Very well right now. Actually, today may have been our best practice offensively. Not really any turnovers, I don't believe. I don't really remember. We're starting to get a grip on, you know, what Coach Roper wants of us. I know quarterbacks we're getting better every single day, and our offensive line's done an incredible job blocking this fall camp. And the running backs, I mean, everybody's been, you know, doing really well. So you could tell today that things were clicking.
Is the blocking scheme the same basically as it was last year? Or are they doing things differently, and do you guys have to adjust to that?
Yeah, they're doing some things similar, but a lot of things are different, and I think that's what Coach Roper brought over here. And Coach Elliott's done a great job teaching the O-line, and you know, some of the protections are different, some of the runs are different too. But you know, we've done a lot of practice through the off season. You know, just guys getting out here and, you know, working through the stuff, and then with spring and now 8 days of camp and everything's so attention to detail that, you know, I feel like when we leave meetings, we understand what is being asked of us. So that's all the credit to the coaches.
When they change what
receivers right now?
The ability to catch the ball and make plays in space right now. A lot of the young guys, I mean, the 4 freshman receivers that we brought in, you know, Brian, Corey, and man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Yeah, and then Dawkins as well. I mean, they all can make plays in space, and they all catch the ball well and move well. And I mean, that shows, you know, a really good job on our coaching staff to bring those guys in. Lorenzo had a really good day too. I'm really, really excited about him out there.
What do you think of DJ Park's progress from last year to this year?
Oh man, from DJ Park's progress from his freshman year to now, it's been incredible. He was my roommate my freshman year.
Yeah.
And just seeing his work ethic change over the years, you know, when I hear him talking about wanting to play at the next level and wanting to be a starter and wanting to be one of the best linemen in the conference, I mean, it gets you fired up because you want to play behind a guy like that. And to see his transformation, his attitude change, it's been wonderful.
All right, that's Perry Orth running with the ones today, but it's still a battle between Orth and McElwain for the starting job at USC at quarterback. And obviously both are doing some good things, and I think both like their chances. Back we are, Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, Professor Tom Hayes, Jar March, Jared Rogers-Martin behind the bulletproof glass, and Carson Mason working very hard in the background. Glad to have everybody with us. Tomorrow night, we commence the annual Palmetto Pigskin Tour. We'll be over in Orangeburg at South Carolina State, the traditional first stop. And we are incorporating everybody into the tour this year. We'll be going to Benedict, we'll be going to North Greenville, and we'll be going to Limestone as part of our trip around the state. You can exhale, K-Mac.
Wow. Big time stops.
They're playing football. We're going to go by
big
and
time
say hey
stops.
to them.
You taking your mechanic with you for the?
You're heading over to Midlands Tech. I heard they're starting a football team.
If they get a football team rolling, we'll be over there. That's what we do here on Sports Talk. So we're looking forward to going around the state and visiting with everybody. We'll hit up all the teams over the next 3 weeks, leading up right up to that opener between South Carolina and Vanderbilt. All right, to recruiting we go to now here on Sports Talk. And USC today, not a good day for the Gamecocks in recruiting. Defensive end Devontae Wyatt, Decatur, Georgia. He flipped his commitment to Georgia today. He had committed to the Gamecocks back in June. In fact, at the time of his commitment, he told us, quote, "I'm so happy right now. I started crying when I was leaving South Carolina. It's just great. They just made me feel like I was at home." End of quote. However, later in June, Wyatt was offered by Georgia, and things began to change quickly. He listed the Bulldogs as even with USC, but didn't flip his commitment initially. However, today he did make that change to Georgia. So his decommitment leaves the Gamecocks with 19 commitments for the 17 class. Also, USC missed on a top defensive back target, Trajan Bandy of Miami, who committed to the Miami Hurricanes. Over the weekend, of course, Clemson picked up a major talent in defensive end Jordan Williams of Virginia Beach. He picked the Tigers over Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee. And he actually said that he had been committed to the Tigers for several weeks going back into June. He was a silent commitment to the Tigers. And so he's actually known where he was going to go for some time. When he was out at the opening in Oregon, he met with Tiger commitments Hunter Johnson, T. Higgins, Amari Rogers, and Matt Bockhorst. And he said talking to those guys, and he FaceTimed with Dabo Sweeney while he was there. All of that played a role in his decision to commit to Clemson. Plus, he sees the opportunity at Clemson with their depth chart at defensive end. He has a chance, he thinks, to go in there and play early. 55 tackles and 11 sacks for him last season. The Tigers have 12 commitments in the class. They'd like to add A.J. Terrell of Atlanta, highly touted defensive back. So would USC and so would Florida. He tells us he's down to those three now. Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, they were on his previous short list. He has set September 23rd for a commitment announcement, but he said that's not absolute. He could announce earlier if he gets it figured out than expected. He was at Clemson on Saturday with his father and younger brother to watch the Tigers practice in full pads. And he watched the corners, and he watched Mike Reed coaching the secondary, really focused on those guys. He also talked to Dabo Sweeney, Brent Venables, and Reed, and they were happy just to have him there. He was at USC in late July prior to the start of practice. He toured the camp in Clemson. He said it was good because he hadn't seen a lot of things outside of the athletic facilities, really was impressed with the campus where the players live. So USC has worked its way back into contention with him being in his top 5 that was released earlier this summer. He does not have a favorite at this point, does not have any more visits planned for the rest of the summer. He said when he reaches his decision, he will release it on Twitter via a video produced by Rivals. Linebacker Drew Singleton of Paramus, New Jersey, was at Clemson yesterday. He was at Alabama Saturday. Receiver Taj Capehart of Virginia Beach committed to Virginia Tech. USC was an offer. Defensive end Hunter Eccles of Los Angeles committed to Southern Cal. Clemson was an offer. Defensive end Michael Allen of Buford, Georgia, committed today to Wake Forest. USC offered back in March. In basketball, Clemson will get an official visit from 6'9" Josh Carlton of DeMatha High in Hyattsville, Maryland. According to Hoop Scene, He also plans to take officials to UConn, East Carolina, and Southern Cal. 7-1 Socastee center Jason Cudd plans to officially visit USC, according to Phenom Hoop Report. He was offered by the Gamecocks in April. He also plans to take officials to Tulane and East Carolina. 6'10 center Luke Garza of Washington was offered by USC on Saturday. Dutch Fork point guard Jordan Davis is on an official visit to Butler. And Missouri transfer Jakeenan Gantz, who at one time looked to be very strong with Clemson, is going to go to Louisiana Lafayette, according to an internet report that I saw. So there you go for today's recruiting report. Don't forget to check it out all the time online on our website, sportstalksc.com, and on Twitter, use the hashtag SC Recruiting. Or use the use hashtag ST Recruiting. There we go. Hashtag ST Recruiting on Twitter is what you want to do. All right, a little bit more from USC from practice today as the Gamecocks worked out for a couple of hours at their practice fields. And then we went indoors into the indoor practice facility. Saw Steve Tannehill over there, by the way. Says he's doing fine, enjoys his new business life, owning a bar in 5 Points. He will be with us during the football season as one of our midweek analysts. We heard from Perry Orth, A.J. Turner, right now running number one at running back for the Gamecocks. He talked to us about practice so far.
They're going good as of right now. I'm getting the first team reps, but I'm not banking on anything until the game starts and the season officially starts, and that's when I'll see where I'm at.
Who's running right behind you?
Bear Polk, Darius Polk, and Rod Talley, and a little bit of Dave Williams. So,
what are the coaches saying that they like about what you're doing out there?
It's like my effort, my speed, and I'm working on my assignments and knowing where I'm supposed to be and my different techniques and stuff like that. So you say I got to improve on that, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay after practice, do some extra work.
What's the most difficult thing for you? Obviously, carrying the football comes naturally, but what about the other parts?
I believe pass protection. Pass protection is a big thing. It's really hard. It's not a natural thing for anybody. So just blocking guys that are bigger than me, way bigger than me, it's a challenging thing. So.
Are you a little surprised to be where you are here so soon?
Honestly, I just know I've been putting in the work. And, like I said, I'm not betting on anything. I'm getting first-team reps. I have been for almost a week now, so I'm not banking on anything until the season starts. So.
Do you view Saturday as an opportunity to put a little more distance between you and some guys then?
I do. I view every day as putting distance between myself and the other running backs. Every day is a day to compete, a day to get better. So you got to do what you got to do to get the starting job and get those reps. And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to put in some extra work like I've been saying and, just grinding. That's all it really is.
Is that your goal to be the starting running back in game number one?
That is one of my goals. It's not my end goal. Obviously, I want to make it to the NFL, but this is just a milestone for me, trying to become the starting running back here at South Carolina. So.
Do you feel like there's something or some things you need to do to prove to them that you can be an every down back?
I do. Obviously weight is a problem. So me, getting in the weight room, it's camp, so it's hard to do that. Just eating right and just taking care of my body. That's probably the biggest thing.
What's your weight now?
As of right now, I'm running 195, 197, around that.
Do you feel like you need to be bigger to be durable enough? I mean, I know it's hard to gain weight in August.
Honestly, I really don't know. I've been trying to gain weight, and I've been working my butt off, in the weight room, here in the meeting rooms, out here in practice. I've been doing the extra stuff, to help me eating extra, drinking protein shakes and doing extra lifts. So I'm trying to do everything that I can to put that weight on.
Three-piece across the street. All right, A.J. Turner right now number one on the depth chart at USC at running back. We'll see if he can hang on. Top of the hour coming up. We'll be back.
Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Okay, we're back. Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network. Good to have you with us on this Monday night. Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, Professor Tom Hayes at your service. Sports Talk, your final word in sports every night here in South Carolina. Your most informed word, your most intelligent, your most enlightening, and what I'm talking without a doubt, your most handsome word in sports every night. Anybody want to disagree on that last contention?
Sure, Corn. We won't contest that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or do we want to do a beauty pageant?
How's the goat
on
looking?
The voice?
What do you think of the goat so far? Yeah? Most people, I have not heard one person say, you ought to lose that thing. I think it shows another side of me that has been hidden for all these years.
Yep.
It
certainly does.
Different sides of people now are coming
side.
out, and I'm showing a different side of me that's been been hidden all these years.
How are you holding up with A-Rod leaving on Friday?
Tough weekend. I was going to mention that. It's a tough weekend. First, it was Brett Favre going into the hall, which is a happy occasion, but it was tearful. Shed a tear or two watching old Brett, and he gave a great speech, 36 minutes off the cuff, and it was marvelous speech. And then A-Rod yesterday was tough. Another piece of the championship teams going away, but it's transition time for the Yankees. However, I have not given up on this season. We're only 5 games back in the wild card, and Joe Girardi's still trying to win games. We're trying to win games with the Yankees.
Why retire in the middle of the season? I mean, is that just because he doesn't want to appeal another drug test that he failed?
I don't think that's a question there. I think that management said, look, there's no place for you to play here anymore, and you can do this. I got
Are they going to pay the rest of his money?
Yes,
that big contract
this year and next year. Yeah, they're on the hook. I think I'm not going to be surprised if the team signs him, because I still think he's got some pop in the bat, and he's only 4 homers away from 700.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think the Yankees do not want him to hit 700 home runs
as a Yankee.
I mean, they didn't want to do it with the bonuses and everything before. I think it's an uncomfortable thing with all the. I mean, let's face it. The guy's got he's pretty stained person in terms of the PEDs.
Watching his press conference yesterday, even as a Yankee fan, it was hard to, because he lied so much about the PED stuff and on national television, into the camera, to reporters. I mean, just flat out bold lies. Then it becomes hard to take somebody at their word when they're trying to give you an emotional kind of talk, as he did. But I think he was sincere with what he said yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the game losing.
I mean, he was a great talent, even, without the PEDs. For the most of his career, he was a great baseball player. He's one of the all-time greats at shortstop and then third base.
I think judiciously, they just ought to just say, this is the PED era, and those guys need to go in the hall. Because here's the thing, it ticks me off that they will not list the players who still was sorry at the plate after they used it.
Just because you used it didn't mean you could hit the curveball.
Exactly. That is exactly right. And here's the other thing. All those guys on the offensive line, especially with the Steelers, use the stuff. I don't see them giving back those Super Bowl trophies.
Yeah. I mean,
the 70s.
The thing about PEDs in baseball, I don't think it helps you hit a baseball any farther, run faster. What it did do is help you recover quicker and maybe, play more games or play more innings than you would have. I don't think it helped you with your quick twitch or anything like that.
I think it definitely did. I mean, there were some guys that were hitting way more home runs than they ever had in their career. If it only helped with the recovery, no, the other things that you can do. I mean, I do think that's part of it, but no, it helps the guys run faster, hit the ball farther, stay stronger. There's no question about it. That's why they do it. And it did happen. And it is interesting, all these guys, though, like A-Rod, who's going to be working for the Yankees now, even though he won't be a player anymore. Mark McGwire, has a job.
Barry Bonds
is now working with the Marlins. So, but none of these guys are in the Hall. And I do think, I mean, the thing about it, Bonds is less tarnished really than A-Rod because he never tested positive. Now we've convicted him in our minds, and we all have brains, and we all pretty well feel like he did it. I don't think anybody's making that case, but he's still not in. At what point do these riders say we've got to get these guys in? Roger Clemens.
There'll be some riders who never will give in.
I mean,
never will give in.
You know, Pete Rose. I mean, Pete Rose can't be anywhere around the game right now. He's banned for life. And these other guys who
Except
really
the Reds, he was able to go back to the Reds to be inducted into their hall and be honored by the Reds.
Well, they honored him, but he's not able to do anything. He can't work in baseball or be a part of Major League Baseball. And I'd like to see all these guys get in, but it's not going to. I mean, Ty Cobb's still not in, for crying out loud. So why should, if they're going to let Barry Bonds,
Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame.
Not Ty Cobb, Shoeless Joe. I'm sorry.
Joe, yeah.
Ty Cobb isn't. I mean, but Shoeless Joe still isn't in.
Right.
Well, you make the argument with Ty Cobb.
But Ty Cobb
should be in.
Yeah, Ty Cobb, maybe he shouldn't be in. He should be in. What these guys did on the field and the mistakes they made, I think you document that in the hall where it says right there when people go to Cooperstown, okay, A-Rod, but this is what he did. And that's part of it. But he's still one of the all-time great players.
Growing up, Pete Rose was one of the players you watch because he brought a certain football mentality to the base. He was the first one, remember, Coin, that ran the first base on a walk.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else used to walk first base. He was the first one that ran over there. And he played, 6 or 7 different positions and played them proficiently for all those years. And he was a tremendous hitter. He was the first guy, I think, Coin, that decided early on, I can hit home runs, but I'd rather hit for average.
All right, 800-956-7266 is our phone number. Wayne Gallman on the first play of practice today at Clemson from the goal line goes 99 yards. C.J. Fuller had a long run of over 30 yards. Should Clemson be worried about the chunk plays again, something that they had a problem with last year? What was it? Over 70 plays of 20 yards or more. Even though they were a nationally ranked, very effective defense, they did have a tendency to give up those big plays.
Well, the good news is they're not going to have to face many offenses, if any, as good as the one they're facing in practice every day. So that should be some good news. But I don't think there is any question that Clemson fans, if there is an Achilles heel, it could be that defense and giving up those big plays, and the offense might have to step up and bail them out some. But that's going to get Clemson. If anything gets them this season, it's going to be the defense not being able to get off the field and teams holding the ball. A team like Auburn that can have those long 8-minute drives perhaps, and you keep running the ball, getting first downs, and you keep that offense off the field, you're in good shape if you're an opponent of Clemson's.
Yeah, speaking of Auburn, of course, they lost a running back over the weekend, or I guess it was on Friday. I think it was announced that they lost him, and they're still trying to piece things together on their offense at running back and at quarterback. So the Tigers of Clemson defensively, they could have a good day against that Auburn offense, because I don't know just how good and how smooth that Auburn offense is going to be. To the phones we go, 800-956-7266. Glenn in Charleston, welcome into Sports Talk. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm getting excited, guys. That's why I guess it sounded like I was in happy hour last week, but just want to explain. This time of year, you get excited. You get here the school's coming back, college is coming back. They're practicing now, and next week we got preseason football. Really, this week here down here on that one of our network showing the Panther game. I know it's preseason, but it's football. You get a little fix. Sport bars gets to make some more money this, season coming up, and everything's looking good for Carolina. I like the way they're coaching their players one-on-one, and maybe groups and having teams and meetings and getting on the same page. I like their attitude now, and they're looking good. Clemson defense, if they don't know how to tackle, like we had a problem last season with tackling and finishing tackling. And
all right, hang on a second, Glenn. We're going to hit a quick break. We'll come right back to you here on Sports Talk. Okay, let's get back to the phones here on Sports Talk. Got a little more Dabo Swinney coming your way shortly from the Tigers practice this morning and his meeting with the media. And we go back to Glenn in Charleston for a couple of more minutes. All right, Glenn, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to make a statement that I'm pretty more confident with that Carolina do very well. I think they got a great coach staff, and I think they'll move up and do better than they did last season and maybe even beat Clemson this year. I'd still say that. I still say that's why they're not doing so good right now. And we'll see as the practice go on. The defense, let's let those runs by them. And Auburn ain't nothing to sneeze at either. And they can be dangerous. So we'll see how it goes. But good luck.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you holding. Appreciate the phone call. I mean, yeah, Auburn's Auburn. They've got talent. They give out 85 scholarships. They recruit extremely well. They coach them up hard too. But coming off the year they had and going through some of the stuff they've been going through here in the preseason with some injuries on the offensive and defensive side, the departure of their potential lead running back, the uncertainty at quarterback. Now, their defense will come out pretty solid and pretty nasty, I think, against Clemson. But they're not going to stop Clemson's offense. Just who's going to stop Clemson's offense? Nobody. I don't think anybody's going to stop their offense. But the other, on the flip side, Clemson with some young guys and with some issues in the past against the big play, it's possible Auburn could spring some big plays against Clemson's defense. But who those players are that are going to do that remain to be seen for the most part. They do have some good receivers back on their offensive side, but is it going to be Sean White getting them the football, or is it going to be the junior college transfer or somebody else? It still remains an open competition there. And it might – I saw a tweet from one of the reporters there over the weekend saying they play 3 quarterbacks against Clemson.
They might. You know, the interesting thing about Clemson is this. I think they worry least about the big plays than they do methodical drives. Because, see, the only time you will see Watson maybe struggle early is when you keep the ball from him. Even if you score quickly and give Clemson the ball back quickly, they're in rhythm. So they play their guys up at the line of scrimmage. And if you break through once in a while, okay, fine. But most of the time, we're going to take your running game away and put you in obvious passing situations and then get off the field. If we give up a big play and it's quick, who cares? Mm-hmm. That brings our offense comes right back on the field in rhythm.
Yeah. I mean, they do like to get their offense back out there, exactly. But you don't want to be giving up points for the sake of getting your offense back on the field. That's a no-win proposition. Thanks for the call, 800-956-7266. Let's go to Billy in Myrtle Beach, next up here on Sports Talk. Hello, Billy. How are you?
Hey, Phil, how you feel about that happy hour? A fella always calls after he leaves happy hour. He shouldn't be driving. He shouldn't be driving talking like that.
Well, hopefully he's walking or on a bicycle or sitting at home.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's dangerous for hazards drivers. But possibly beat Clemson. I don't even think I'll waste my breath. I got to get in breath and comment on that.
You see no way that's going to happen, right? I mean, as we sit here today, you see absolutely no way South Carolina can beat Clemson.
I'll be honest with you, Phil. I think it's going to be Derek Cooper because I think he's that good. If Derek Cooper starts, I think Clemson still covers the spread as we sit here right now with 20 and a half.
Whoa. You're saying they could start their third? No. They could start their 4th quarterback and beat the Gamecocks?
And cover 20 and a half. That's right.
Cover 20 and a half.
All the
backups.
No, well, I mean, I think Derek's going to be special.
What other 4th teamers can you start against the Gamecocks and still beat them?
I'm throwing a thing out here now. Derek Cooper is going to actually solidify himself, Phil, as a second guy. I think they say Jeff Scott has raved about this guy as well as Brandon Streeter. And they said he's that good. They said they tried everything possible to redshirt this kid, but he came in and he's moving up the chart. All respect to Nick Schuessler. Talent will eventually take over, and Kelly Bryant will be passed as well, just because Kelly had a hard time of, check downs and reading defenses as well. So I think they said Derek's that good. But hey, I'll make a comment and take it off there. Right now, the lines at LasVegas.com, Las Vegas Insider is about 9.5 with Clemson and Auburn. I was kind of shocked because of them losing the running back. But I'll be honest with you, Phil, that quarterback rotation and Kevin Steele running that defensive side of the football, Auburn's defensive line is phenomenal. You have to tell you the guys on there. I think they'll make it. They'll hang with Clemson for a while, but I think Clemson will pull away. I really do. I think Clemson will well cover past that spread, and I'm going to get your take on that. If you were picking 10 right now, would you say they would cover? And I'm going to take it off the air, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely I would. I'd lay the 9.5 because you're right. Now, their defensive front is going to be good, and it might be hard for Clemson to run the ball, but they're not stupid up there. Number one, they don't have to pass protect for very long because their offense is, and because the mobility of Deshaun Watson. So if they find the running hard to come by, they'll just turn to Watson and spread him out, and he'll run when necessary. And then if you come up to play the run against him, he's gonna beat you with the pass. And there'll be no drop off at wide receiver with Mike Williams coming back, and there's other receivers coming back. They should be as good, if not better, than last year because, Sharon Peake was a good player at Clemson, and he's still in the NFL at this point. But I think Mike Williams is better. And you put Mike Williams with Deion Kane, with Artavis Scott, with Hunter Renfrow, with an emerging Ray McLeod. Whew, my goodness, they've just got weapons. They've just got absolute weapons. And I'll go back and I'll say what I said some last week. I don't see Clemson losing another football game ever. I know ever's a long time. I know that's a long time. That puts a little bit of pressure on them.
Except for twice this year, right? Except for twice this year.
Who?
Clemson.
Losing to who?
I think they could be surprised in that opening Auburn game, but I think that Florida State. That's where I see the biggest trap
Georgia
out
boy.
of all of it.
Georgia boy, turn off your mic.
You have to go down to Tallahassee. That's not.
I don't see Clemson losing a football game ever again.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to take the under on that.
On ever?
Have you ever seen the shape of that ball? That ball takes some crazy bounces, even against the best team.
I'm just going by what I can see and read and hear. I'm all eyes and ears and open-minded when it comes to this sort of stuff. Thank you for your phone call. 800-956-7266 is our phone number here on Sports Talk. I watched a little bit of the Olympics. The sport that I am really going to be zoning in on the rest of the way. It really caught my attention, and it was fascinating. No. Come on. Women's beach volleyball.
How did I know you were going to say that?
No, seriously. They might as well be naked out there playing. Do you see the bikinis they're wearing? You don't see that hardly at Orient Beach down in the wherever that is, down in the south, down in the Bahamas. I'm serious. Those are the most scantily clad women's volleyball. Does USC's women's volleyball beach volleyball team have uniforms?
They don't allow that.
I'd be over there. I'd be their beat writer, man. I'd do their play-by-play.
Unbelievable.
There's a dig, and there's a spike. 1-0. There's a dig.
Can you name one of them?
And there's a spike.
Can you name one athlete that participates in beach volleyball?
Where at?
For the United States or any country.
Any country. Olga Kismarova.
So you were just looking at their uniforms
and other things. I was admiring their uniforms.
I think it's about time for the men have to wear those bikinis. If
I wouldn't do it this way. I wouldn't be as interested, but it'd be.
Well, you say that because my wife has fallen in love with the men's gymnastics team.
Is that right?
She wants to watch all the men's gymnastics. So I guess it's not just you, Corn. That's a sexist.
Listen, did you watch any of the volleyball?
I did.
Okay, so you're
Friday
denying.
Saturday night?
Are you denying the eye candy that's out there?
I'm just watching. That's not why.
Are you watching it as sport? Are you
that's
watching
not
it?
Why I don't tune in. I'm like, beach volleyball's on. I gotta set my DVR.
Nothing better than women's.
I'm not
ping
the one
pong,
that's growing out a mullet and a goatee, so I guess that makes a little more sense now.
All right, we'll be right back. 800-956-7266. Okay, we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network, 800-956-7266 is our phone number. Email talkback at sportstalksc.com and on Twitter at SportsTalk SC. We've had some activity on Twitter. Comments to various things. Maybe K-Mac will catch us up on that in a little bit. Right now, let's go to the phone once again. Got some more Dabo Sweeney coming your way here shortly. And it's Tiger Bryan, and we're doing fine We're good. Having a great day. I hope you are as well.
I am, my brothers. Y'all tickle me. You talking listen, never lose another game. I'm like, man, what kind of Kool-Aid you drinking?
He does have an orange mustache. Inside of his goatee there's some orange. It looks like the remnants of maybe some orange-colored Kool-Aid.
No, I think that's mustard. I think that's mustard from the weekend.
I think that Kool-Aid has a little proof to it.
That's one thing I haven't, being all new to having facial hair, because I've never really done this before, and realizing that you have food trapped inside the whiskers, you have to be cognizant of the fact that you could be walking around with
there's more to that
stuff hanging.
Too.
Yeah,
those hairs can turn back into the skin. That's when your skin starts.
See, now you've had a mustache for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen you without a mustache, Pro. Tiger mustache?
Yeah, I sure do, Will.
Yeah,
it's a little gray. Yeah, it's a little gray.
You ever tried the goatee thing? You ever tried that?
No, I ain't never done the goatee thing, man. Wife likes a little slick, you know what I mean?
No, I really don't.
Hey-o!
I got a question for you. You saying that, are you looking at the talent we're recruiting so good?
Yeah, I mean, Clemson is just rolling right now. I mean, they are just rolling now. When will there be a chink in the armor? I don't know. When Deshaun Watson leaves after this season, will they take a step back? That's the big concern. Because, look, when he leaves after this season, Mike Williams will be gone. Jordan Leggett will be gone. Guillermo will be gone. I think he's a senior, right? They're going to lose some significant players. Gallman will be gone after this season. But, quarterback-wise, they're going to be very, very, very young and inexperienced, but very talented. At some point, talent overtakes inexperience, or maybe the other way around. I don't know. But do they stand to take a step back after Deshaun is gone?
Well, I would think so. I mean, but I'll tell you what, we keep the coaches intact. That's the key.
Well, so far you've been able to do that, except for the occasional firing or departure for a head coaching job.
Chad Morris. Yeah. I mean, and that's going to happen. When you have success, your assistant coaches are going to take other jobs, and that's what you want as a head coach. That means you have a good organization. Think about how many guys Nick Saban has had to replace at Alabama, and that's why Dabo Swinney. And let's give him credit, because we all kind of chuckled, at least I did, when Chad Morris was leaving. He said, look, it's not a Chad Morris offense. It's a Clemson offense. Now, granted, they have the best player in college football running that offense right now, and that does make it a little easier to call plays, but they have not skipped a beat since he left. Last season, you weren't going, man, there was never a point we said they really missed Chad Morris.
Yeah.
Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott, and Elliott calls the plays. They've done an outstanding job. I mean, that little gadget play to the tight end against Louisville that got them the touchdown. I mean, they really do a good job. Now, a lot of those things were left in place from Chad Morris, but they picked that up and made it their own.
I think the biggest thing is when you got a guy like that, the whole team tends to mentally relax and play their assignments. I mean, you can go back to South Carolina when Connor Shaw was hurt, and it was almost as soon as he walked into the Missouri game, it was a whole different team. And you ask yourself, where was this team 40 minutes ago? Well, the quarterback wasn't in there. Deshaun Watson brings a piece to offense and defense, because they sit there. It's almost like having the greatest brain surgeon in the world sitting there, and you say, well, I know I'm in good hands when they wheel me in, because there he is right there.
But they're going to have to face some adversity this season. Every team does, and that's the question, whether it's going to be from an injury standpoint or they go out and they have a loss. But I mean, something's going to happen over the course of a season.
But you see, they faced adversity last season. Yeah. I mean, they had some close calls. They had some difficult moments, but they managed each time until the last time to find a way to win. Is this year's Clemson team better than last year's?
Offensively, I say potentially
is Clemson team better than last year?
I can't say that defensively, but potentially offensively they can be better.
See, we said the same thing this time last year. We didn't think the defense would be as good. It wasn't quite as good, but it was still good enough. And as you pointed out correctly, you don't have to be that good on defense at Clemson to still win because the offense is that good, but they are that good on defense.
But here's the point about that defense. And I'll use a pro football example. When Kurt Warner was quarterback in the Rams had a great defense. Why? Because they had the greatest show on turf, and they were throwing the ball all over the place. As soon as he was gone, the same defense was there, but they didn't play the same because their offense wasn't lighting up the scoreboard like they used to. And then suddenly a team's playbook is wide open for them because they're not playing catch-up anymore.
Speaking of the Tigers, Dabo Swinney, a little bit more from the Tigers head coach. Give you a little extra Dabo since it was head coach talking day at Clemson after the morning practice. We heard the recap of the practice session from him earlier on in the program. Here is more from Dabo talking about practice to this point and how the team is progressing.
Sounds like Jake Guillermo concussion. Do you expect him to be out? Or
yeah, I mean, he's out for, until they tell me he's back. I don't know. But yeah, we just keep rolling. He'll be all right sometime.
Jalen?
He'll play against Auburn.
Saw Jalen wearing yellow too? Is he okay?
Yeah, he just got a little banged up, tweaked his hand a little bit the other day. He'll be all right. We just kind of, 6 days into camp, and started getting you guys just kind of a little banged up here and there. That's part of it. I should hope to get Marcus Edmond back before too much longer. He's on, I think, he's on the good side of the pulled ham now. I think he's working his way back. That's going to be a big shot for him, and we'll get him back in the mix.
Speaking of Gage, you guys have a pretty good track record of having guys move into a position and finding success. Does that lend the optimism that this could work out as well?
I don't have any doubt it's going to work out. Gage Cervenka is a heck of a football player, and he'd have played D tackle for us at some point. He's just going to have to be really patient over there. He just got, he's a redshirt freshman, and he's got, 5 or 6 guys that are just better than him right now. They're in front of him. And, there's only so many reps. If he could get more reps, I mean, he could stay at D tackle, and he'd be I think, a good college D tackle. But I think he's got a chance to be a great offensive lineman. I think this is the right move for him, our team, and his future. I really do. I may be wrong. Then it's like I told him, he ain't gonna forget how to play D line. We're going back over there, But I think that this is, and I think he sees and feels that the same way.
When Tyler Shatley moved over to the offensive line, he brought a real tough mentality to the offensive line. Is that kind of what you expect to see from Gage?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Gage is a tough player. I think his strengths as a football player are going to be accentuated in the OL. His strengths are strength, number one, just raw strength, pushing and moving people, leverage. Those are things that I think will really shine through. And, he just looks different over there. Just like Shatley. When he moved over there, Shatley was a good D tackle for us. He was a fourth-year junior before he moved over there. And Cervenka's got 4 years left. So we're totally different deal. But I think had he stayed at D tackle, he would have been a similar player to Shatley and a solid D lineman.
Dabo Swinney from earlier today after the Tigers practice. They went out again this evening. They'll have a light workout this evening, and then Tigers have a situational scrimmage coming up. So we'll see what the Tigers can do in that, and see which of these young guys really stand out. Some of the young defensive backs starting to show their stuff up at Clemson because they do have some injured guys up there. Back in a moment. All right, time to continue with our football previews. Here's Carson with Georgia.
It's a new era at Georgia with head coach Kirby Smart leading the way. Smart was the defensive coordinator at Alabama from 2008 to 2015, and he was hired by the Bulldogs in December. He'll replace head coach Mark Ricks, who agreed to part ways with the team after 15 seasons. Georgia is Smart's alma mater, and he played football there as a D lineman from 1995 till 1998. He also worked as an administrative assistant in 1999. Taking a look at the team, Georgia finished the year at 10-3 overall and with a 24-17 TaxSlayer Bowl game victory over Penn State. But with the new coach comes a new staff, and it's safe to say Smart brought in some guys with plenty of NFL and college experience. Some of his new additions include offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, offensive line coach Sam Pittman, and defensive assistant Glenn Schumann. But Smart did keep a couple of familiar faces around, including running backs coach Thomas Brown and outside linebackers coach Kevin Scherer.
First objective was to assemble a great staff. You know, every guy that I hired has been at an SEC school in some capacity, has some part of the SEC attached to them. I thought that was important. A lot of NFL experience on our staff. I thought that was important. But by far and away, the most important thing in assembling our staff was the quality of men and how they develop leadership and character for our team.
As the new head coach, Smart will obviously have to overcome many challenges, one of which will be how he plans to move forward after several Georgia players were arrested this offseason.
We've had 5 guys that have been arrested, 2 are no longer with us, and I hate that for them. But our team's moved on, and it's very important that we don't make the same mistakes twice. And that's a big part of improvement, and we'll do everything we can possibly and plenty of support from our athletic department to put things in place to help our players not to make those same mistakes again.
Just like most of the teams around the SEC, Georgia has some questions at the starting quarterback position. Although last year's starter Grayson Lambert will be returning, Smart said he will consider all of his options.
The ceiling is there for this conference, and we've proven that. I certainly think there are a lot of question marks at quarterback, and that may make a lot of defensive coordinators breathe easier this year. But in years past, you learn quickly that guys can rise, and they got a lot of playmakers with them, really good players in this league.
Lambert is certainly the front runner for the job, but it might be challenged by junior Bryce Ramsey and freshman Jacob Eason, who both had impressive outings at Georgia's spring game. Ramsey threw 16 of 25, and Eason was 19 of 29 on the day. But let's not forget the incredible season Lambert had last year. The veteran threw nearly 2,000 yards with 12 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions as the starter. All 3 quarterback options will see more evaluation come time for fall camp, with the decision most likely coming in August. Taking a peek at the schedule, UGA kicks off its season against the UNC Tar Heels at the Georgia Dome on September 3rd. Then the team's home opener is the following week against Nicholls State on September 10th. As for the most intriguing matchups of the season, they're scheduled to face Ole Miss on the road September 24th, and then have to turn around and host Tennessee the following week. For Sports Talk, I'm Carson Mason.
All right, Carsonova, thank you for that. We continue our series of SEC and ACC previews on through the month of August, and tomorrow night we kick off our Palmetto Pigskin Tour around the state of South Carolina. We'll be in Orangeburg tomorrow night over at South Carolina State. Oliver, what's the initial? Oliver
P. Dawson Stadium.
Oliver
C. Dawson.
Oliver C. Dawson,
Yeah.
Bulldog Stadium. Yeah. Over there with Coach Buddy Pugh. Hopefully we'll have a chance to say hello to G.A. Mangus and Kirk Botkin, former Gamecock assistant coaches.
For GA. It wasn't quite official Friday.
Yeah, I guess if he signed the contract, that was the holdup. He's there coaching them, that sort of thing. So, and they'll be looking to once again. They're not picked to win the MEAC, but they'll be very much a factor. They've got a senior quarterback in Kendrick. They've got a great linebacker in Darius Leonard, kid from Lakeview, could play a lot of places and is tearing it up. Looks like he's going to be the next. Seems like every year, State has got at least one outstanding headlining defensive player. They keep that tradition going.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Willie Jeffries, that's their mantra. You know, ball control, run the football, stop the run, play good defense, turn you over. That's what they want to do.
Yeah. All right, so we look forward to hitting the road. It's South Carolina State tomorrow night, Newberry, on a Wednesday night and Presbyterian on Thursday night this week. So always good to get out and see the coaches and hear what they have to say about their teams. Now, a little bit of information on Vanderbilt as we look ahead to South Carolina and Vandy getting together to open the season. This is from one of the Vandy reporters, Jesse Johnson, on the 24/7 network. This was after yesterday, 4 practices in the book at Vandy. Outdoor practice of preseason camp on Sunday in front of hundreds of fans. Optimism is up on the West End thanks to the return of 40-plus lettermen. They feel like Vandy's going to have a much improved defense compared to last year. They were going to put on full gear today and have two-a-days tomorrow. Let's see if there's anything here that jumps out at me. Just talking about their two deep and various players and things of that nature. One little note here that will be of interest to South Carolina, that is their defensive front is without one of their starters, Jay Woods. He's injured and apparently will not be available for the South Carolina game. So they will miss him up front. Their offense, of course, is where they had to have the biggest remake, and Derek Mason brought in a new offensive coordinator. They've got a new quarterback ready to start the season. Do they have enough offensive talent? Because I think South Carolina's defense is going to be pretty good. You know, not going to say they're going to be great or anything like that, but I think they're going to put up a pretty good stand defensively. I think their defense will give them a chance in a game like Vanderbilt early on. I think South Carolina's defense will give them a chance. If the offense can produce some points, give them a chance to win the ball game.
Well, you know, the key to Vandy, though, that once you looked at that team, I don't think Vandy was ever really maybe 1 or 2 games blown out early. That's when their defense was fresh. But that defense was still salty even when their offense went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and they had to come back on the field. Just ask Georgia. Georgia didn't break through until the last, 8 minutes of that football game when the defense just ran out of gas because their offense just could not sustain a drive.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a bad – I mean, the one offense that USC's defense could stop last season was Vanderbilt.
Yep. All right, let's final quick call here of the night with our new format. I forgot. We're running out of time.
Oops.
So quickly we go to where?
We got Brad in Oates.
In where?
In Oates. He laughed when he told me.
Brad Oates?
Brad, you tell us where it's from.
What's up, Brad?
Hey, Phil, I enjoy your show. Yeah, I told him I'm from Oates over here in between the Lamar Silver Foxes and the Hartsville Red Foxes, a little community out in the country here.
Oh, good. Good little PD area there. Cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We've got about a minute, so go ahead.
Okay, I'll make it quick. When I turned on the radio earlier, I heard K-Mac talking about Andy Demetra has a possibility to go to Georgia Tech, and I had to step away, and I don't know if he'll talk about it anymore. But my question was going to be about Mike Morgan. I used to really enjoy hearing him, and a lot of my Gamecock buddies did too. And I know there was some trouble there, and I don't think he worked directly for USC. So I was just going to get your opinion on maybe would he have a chance to come back, because I think it would be awesome. And I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you. No, Mike wouldn't want to come back.
He's moved on to bigger things.
He's got a great situation with ESPN now. He's a full-time employee of ESPN. He's going to have, many, many big games to call on television. He's sort of moved on from the radio gig. He could have had, I'm sure, had he thrown his hat in the ring, he could have made a run at the Georgia Tech job if he wanted that. But I think he likes really what he is doing and where he is in his life right now professionally. So, no, that's not going to happen. My guess is at this juncture, they'll just promote from within the athletic department what they've already got. And they've got some good people in there who can fill those shoes, I'm sure. Hey, thanks for the call. Thank you, K-Mac. Pro, thank you. Thank you, Jarmart and Carson Ova. Great being together with everybody tonight. Tomorrow night, Palmetto Pigskin Tour from Orangeburg, South Carolina State. Buddy Pugh will be on board with us and others. Look forward to having that for you. Thanks for being with us here on Sports Talk. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.